Hi guys, I'm Danny, and I started a Sunday gym because I've noticed lately that people tend to go to colleges and universities without actually knowing why they're there. And afterwards, starting jobs that are unfulfilling. So I'm interviewing different professionals to see what they have to say and share their knowledge and experience with you. I hope you enjoy it. And today, sir.
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Quite well, thank you. The program will be focused on three main questions. What do you do for a living? How did you get there? And how did you know that this was the way to go? So, tell us what you do for a living, please.
Sure. So my name is LeVar Love. I'm the principal owner of Rosie Investment Corporation, and I am a residential redeveloper in the city of Chicago. So I focus a great deal on real estate and then real estate with a partnership with the city of Chicago to focus on affordable housing as well. So
That's beautiful. I myself graduated finance and economics and international
okay.
business administration. I know a lot of smart people, very intelligent people. They all
Yeah.
explained cryptocurrency to me multiple times, and I have absolutely no idea what this is. Like, it's me, it's not them. I know people that made money of it. So
Yeah.
clearly, I don't do that. I have a normal job, 9 to 5 job, a
Hmm.
career. I've been doing some finance and supply chain for about almost 15 years now, but I have always had a soft spot for real estate. Not
Gotcha.
only I'm as a broker, helping people to find, a good place to live, but I'm
Yeah.
also investing and I'm purchasing property. I am from Southeastern Europe, from Bulgaria, and it's a crossroad country. We got Southern Europe in general is like that. You have to have property. You have to be a property
Gotcha.
owner. Uh, I, I've lived, when I was younger, and I didn't have anything, so I had to rent. It's a different feeling, man. I have to tell you. So what you're doing is super amazing. And when I saw that, I really wanted you to be here. But real estate is ridiculously important.
Yeah, definitely. And once again, thank you for having me on your platform. And funny story, so I actually have an MBA in finance from Belmont University as well. So, yep,
Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, well, mine is because I'm from Europe, so European education, and not to mention ours, from what I'm hearing. All right, well, you can correct me when I'm wrong, but ours is a little bit cheaper than yours.
Yes, it is. But luckily, I was actually in corporate America already. So after I got my degree,
Oh,
my internship turned into a full-time job. So luckily, the company I was working for helped pay for that MBA. So.
that's good, and that's truly amazing. Now, my second question is, how did you get there? So were you like walking the streets of Chicago one day and you were like, let me do real estate and all that, so or did something else happen?
I wish it was that easy, man. If I could have just walked down the street and got hit with a lightning bolt that said do real estate, that would have been great. No, so there were several things, right? And what I like to call like to get to my real estate journey, there were key milestones
Yeah.
and some really important things had to happen. So first, my passion for real estate was sparked when I was in undergrad. So when I was getting my degree at Tennessee State University, I had an excellent professor uh, who taught the real estate appraisal class. So I was getting my bachelor's degree and with a concentration in real estate and urban development. So I kind of had an idea that I was interested in real estate. What I didn't know at that time that it was my passion, right?
Yeah.
So he sparked it and with some assignments, man, I was this kid growing up that school, I did it because my parents said I had to. I did
Yeah.
it because if I didn't do it, I couldn't play sports. So, but this was the first time that the assignments he gave me, I would work on them all night. I would study like my sister used to study. Right? Like
Good. Yeah.
study because it's like she loved it. She studied because she, wanted to get an A, be the best at it. And that was never me until Dr. Pennington's class. So in that class, when I started understanding real estate, it was like it wasn't school, it wasn't work. It was like what I wanted to do and what I wanted to spend my time doing. So that was kind of the first milestone. I realized I loved it a lot. So I turned it into a hobby, right? So something I did on the side, on the weekends, on evenings as I was working in corporate America. And then I took a couple of investment courses. So understanding how it could help with passive income, how it could help kind of change my life, change my net worth. Things of that nature, impact my family. So that's when I really kind of went full blown. I got my broker's license. I started selling real estate, and not to pat myself on the back, I was actually pretty good. I was pretty good at it.
I
So
can
I was
tell.
making just as much selling real estate as I was in my full time job, and I was only doing it part time, right? So that was another sign. That was another milestone. Like, hey, and now that I realize how things work, that was probably because I was so passionate about it, right? So I'm spending little, less time, but having just as much success. And then the third piece was I moved back to my hometown. So all of this started when I was still living in the area where I went to school at. So, and when I went back home, in the area I grew up in and in several parts of Chicago, there are, abandoned buildings, there are vacant lots and kind of things like that. And the city had this initiative in regards to kind of revitalizing the community and things of that nature. So the next key milestone was someone from that program happened to be at a panel in my neighborhood, and I was there just listening and sitting in the audience, and I talked to him afterwards, and it was like a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
So, and that's when I learned that like my passion kind of could have a purpose. And from that point forward, it was like full steam ahead.
LeVar, you were ridiculously lucky in regard of that professor, and
Yeah.
this is pretty much the reason I started this whole channel. I was 15, I think maybe 16, when I knew exactly what I was going to study and what I was going to do for a living. People around me were all like that, so I was growing up with the mentality that the whole world was that.
Yeah.
And boy, was I wrong. And that's why I'm interviewing amazing people like you. And you and I, we were in the minority here because a lot of people
Yes.
are not like us. And this is why the third question is, how did you knew that this was the way to go? Fine, you kind of covered it pretty well.
Yeah.
Number one, the fact that the company you were working at was kind enough to pay for the tuition. You know, something clicked in you when you were sitting in there and those lectures, and you kind of went in there. But my point is, because I'm sure you've seen it with your own eyes as well. People tend to go to those colleges and universities. I have a master's degree. I'm going to start a PhD soon, probably. So I'm not against those institutions whatsoever. I'm
Right.
highlighting the problem that we have. The 25, 6-year-old young adults, those aren't children anymore, let's be honest. And they just went there because of that stigma. And once you have the piece of paper, your life will be amazing, which is definitely not true. And they saw something that's clearly not for them. Then they went to work something that's clearly not for them. You end up being a miserable person. All right, fine. You want to be miserable. That's on you. Be as miserable as you want. But then you have a wife or a husband, children. You can't keep that inside you for that long. At some point, you can't lie to yourself forever. And you are a tremendous example because you've been at the right place and the right time. But however, I really need to ask that because you're a very, very sunny person. I can see that. You have that beautiful smile. You're intelligent. You're obviously a people's person. You can't do that if you're not a people's person.
Correct. Yeah.
You got this fire in your eye. So with that intellect and the skills and the knowledge behind you, I mean, you could have chosen any number of things. Real estate is pretty big as a
Yeah.
concept, so you could have done anything, but you didn't. You went with that one specifically. What made you do that?
So I think for me, uh, I have several mentors in my life. So I always think back to the good advice that my mentors give me. And some of that advice would be, hey, always go after the low-hanging fruit. So there was a lot of opportunity there, right? So I always look for where the opportunity is, where the demand is, and I take, the things that basically for me it was like, hey, I love this. And right? I'm now in the city of Chicago and there's opportunity here. There
Yeah.
were a lot of support. So I'll give a prime example. So to get my MBA, I was working. So the company I was working for had to support that, as well as they provided resources that went towards my MBA. They provided financial resources. So when you kind of get more support, you get more resources. It makes it easier to take a path, if that makes sense, right? It's
Yeah.
like if you're going to go on a trip and a journey, and you got a new car that's full of gas and you got snacks, it's a heck of a lot easier to get going and to go where you're trying to go, right? And I think the same thing happened in the real estate piece. So now, I'm educated and I have a passion for it, but now I'm in a place where these resources are there, right? The city helped you kind of get financing for the properties. The city provided opportunities for acquisition and things of that nature, where at the time it was hard to find properties. So, the country was going through a real estate boom where it was really hard to find properties. So to have a municipality that is supporting you in acquisition, that's huge.
Which
So
year
I
was
just
that?
say following what's that?
Which year was that?
So I first got involved in the program in kind of 2017, 2018-ish,
No, no,
because you
no,
have to go
the
through an application
problematic period.
process. Yeah.
The
What's that?
problematic period that you've mentioned that
Yeah. So
around
from
that time?
2018 through COVID,
Oh,
if a property was on the market, the average days on market was less than 15, 20 days, as well as there were multiple bids on it. So the price for properties skyrocketed for
yeah.
investors. You were bidding against each other. There were all cash offers, things of that nature. So it was tough to get properties at the time. So to truly be an investor, to be a successful investor and doing work, like having a resource or having support like the program that I'm in, it's called the Neighborhood Rebuild Program. It was huge for me at the time.
Yeah. It sure is amazing. I always encourage people, start small. I own property, LeVar. I
Yeah,
don't own a castle, man. I own small apartments and storage
yeah,
rooms and a few
yeah.
parking lots here and there. That's it. Because that's what I can afford. I wanted to buy the Buckingham Palace, couldn't.
What? Yeah,
So get something. This has always been the mentality here. Get something, could be small, could be ugly, could be whatever you want to call it, but make sure it's yours. I was pretty ridiculed because my first apartments that I bought, they were like super small. They were very, very small. It's 20 square feet, square meters. I don't know how that's in feet, but about
yeah,
double because so it was ridiculously small. And they always, my friends, because, I kind of fix things my own by myself. And when I had
yeah.
friends over to help me with carrying the heavy stuff, they're like, That's like a doghouse, man." Like, man, shut up. You don't even have that.
No, so my first property was the same way. And here's the thing. So what I'm hearing is that there's a pathway to success that's very similar that you took as well as I took. My first property was this is in feet, but it was less than 1,000 square feet. But it was a three-bedroom home, and I had two roommates that were going to move in with me, and they helped me do the work on the house. So we were in there fixing it up, putting down tile and stuff like that. But it was the same concept. It was a small house that, just what I had the means to buy at the time. And we went in and renovated the property, created equity, created value.
So 20 square meters is 65 square feet.
Oh, 65 square feet.
Yeah.
That is small.
It is. It's literally one room, and that's what I was able to afford. But turns out it was pretty good because mine was in the industrial zone of the city.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're always gonna have a tenant.
Yeah.
LeVar, I have a fourth question. I
Okay.
never put it in the description of the invitation when I'm sending it because I love the reaction. Although, if you've seen just one of the episodes, you already know what it is. I'm a very simple man, almost zero creativity here. It's how I was born. My fourth question is if you, my audience is mostly made of people sitting here, like, is this job for me? Is this curriculum for me? Is this university for me? Am I even go in the right direction? If you can give my audience one advice, what will it be there?
With your passion in your heart. And it's the same thing that I tell my son every time we have a talk about the sports he plays or the education he's going after when he has to take classes. It's like, because here's the thing, my grandfather taught me is if you do what you love, you will never go to work a day in your life. Like that's the reason why I've been able to sustain through up markets, down markets, whatever the case may be in real estate, is because it's not work for me. I love to do it. I sit in I have my laptop on the couch, on a Saturday afternoon or something like that, looking at Excel spreadsheets or looking at listings and things like that because it's my passion, right?
Yeah,
So if you're passionate about something, go after what you're passionate about. And if you give what you're passionate about 120%, the money will come. You'll be successful.
absolutely. I feel the same way. I've had I'm trying to have at least two jobs. Not that I need the money so much,
Yeah,
but not to have enough time to spend the money. Pretty much that's it. So additional money is also good. And I've had days often that I had to work 12, 15 hours a day. And I didn't
yeah.
feel it. I didn't feel it. I wasn't tired. I mean, I was at the end, I was tired, but yeah,
Right.
not that type of tired. You know what I'm saying?
During. Yeah. Yep. So I think back to kind of before I was in real estate or even before I was in corporate America, those jobs I had in college. And I remember clocking in and it was like time was going so slow. I remember
Yeah.
this. It was just like I was there all day. I didn't want to be there. And then I compare that to when I got into corporate America and many days, it was like because I was working on things that I wanted to work on, it's like I'll look up and be like, it's 4 o'clock already. I
Yeah.
thought it was. I'm like, I just had lunch. Like I'm trying to finish this. So, and that is when I realized, like, wait a minute, there's a difference here, and the difference was me. It's like I want to do what I'm doing today. That's why the time is going so fast and I can't get it finished. Versus when I was doing something I didn't want to do, it's like I'm looking at the clock every 30 minutes. I'm like, I don't want to be here. So, and that to me distinguish the things like I do my best, even today when it's not work or something like that. I try to spend my time doing the things that I want to do, that I have fun doing, and it always flies. When I'm doing something I'm not passionate about that I don't want to do, is tick tock, and that's the difference.
Yeah, and I can tell because I already told you you have that fire in your eye, and it's out every time when you're talking about it. Man, it's beautiful to see people like you that are just like that, and that is why I am so absolutely honored and tremendously grateful for your time and for your mind and for everything.
Hey, it's mutual. It's mutual.
Right on. With that said, please don't forget to send me all the links to be in the description below, and I wish you all the best, man.
All right, you too, Denny. Have a good one.
Guys, I hope this one was useful. Please follow the channel on YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, Gap, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Ring the bell and all the good stuff. Have a nice week ahead, and I'll see you next Sunday.